Hey, it's Lavender Hazelwood Witches. Welcome. I am Aurora. So we've got a different kind of week this week. I've got two videos for you, and they are both activist videos. So we have accumulated $100, so we will be donating to a rescue organization on the full moon this month. So I will be presenting to you the organizations that I have pulled out of the bag this month. But first, this video, which has to do with humanitarian efforts in Palestine. You know, your head is under a rock if you haven't heard anything about what's happening in Palestine and the horrific things that are happening to the civilians there, the people that have nothing to do with war. It is a very charged topic, and it's partially why I haven't posted anything before this. Because I have already gotten myself into hot water at the end of last year, and I really don't want to revisit what happened last time. So I've been dragging my feet, though I have been posting on the community tab if you're interested. The nice thing about being online is that we have access to all kinds of media, not just what, the TV and cable networks and stuff are feeding us. So I just wanted to highlight some voices that have the Palestinian perspective in mind, in case you haven't been exposed to much of that. I've got resources that I can put in the description below, but first there is a video that activist witch Isha put together last week, interviewing two Palestinians, Sabrine and Sammy, about their culture, their lives, what it was like growing up, basically getting the Palestinian perspective to kind of like squash all of the unhelpful narrative that is out there about Arabs and Palestinians. So I want to point you towards watching that video if you want to get a broader perspective on the conflict that's happening. The other thing I wanted to point you towards is a fundraiser for Medical Aid Palestine that Isha has put together. It's a raffle, so every £5, that'll be a little bit more for the US dollar, but for every £5 you give, you get a raffle ticket. All you have to do is take a screenshot of your donation and send it over to Isha. I have donated a digital download grimoire page packet, which is like 20 pages long. And it's a bunch of information on how to build a dark garden with night blooming flowers that are both poisonous and non-poisonous, some spell work, moon phase stuff, seed packets, things like that you can print out. There will be 3 of those that are being given away in the raffle, and a bunch of other really great things like readings, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll leave the link to the GoFundMe in the description. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to be a mouthpiece for somebody else's perspective. I want you to hear it from them, Sammy and Sabrine. I love you guys.
I wanted to add like a very, very brief timeline as well. In the 1800s, what's it called? Socialist Zionism? Is that what they called it back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, was formed, and it was, the idea of it was basically to find a nation for the Jewish people that was not specified at the time. Like, they did not specify at the time that it would be in Palestine. I think they looked into different areas.
Yeah, in Africa.
In Africa as well,
for example.
Rwanda, yeah. And then there was this proclamation made that they would be giving them land without a people for a people without a land, which at that point someone even mentioned, actually, the place that you've chosen, Palestine, does have people living in it, so how would you propose that we do this? After that, when World War II happened and started, and there were some very anti-Semitic, and I think this is a very important part of the history, is that when anti-Semitism was on the rise in Europe, a lot of Jewish people were either forced or coerced to move to Palestine because they were given, they were accepted as refugees there.
The Balfour Declaration and a lot of the Zionist movements and European Zionists were not doing that in the interest of Jewish people. Actually, there was a lot of anti-Semitism behind the Balfour Declaration. Yeah. It was the idea that if you could move Jewish away from Europe, you would get rid of them. So
Yeah.
Actually, that is very anti-Semitic to start with.
Yeah, the whole thing kind of started with anti-Semitism as well, as like wanting to get rid of the unwanted
Yes.
people in Europe. And where in Palestine they were not unwanted, they were actually welcome. They were welcomed
Yeah.
and treated as parts of the people that were already there. And this is also like in the telling of how we are told these stories from our elders and our grandparents. We are told that we welcomed them into our homes. Like, we didn't even build separate homes for them. We welcomed them into our homes.